Hello my friend, today I'm taking a look at 5 different microphone polar patterns. What are they and what is the benefit of using them? We're going to unpack all that using this one multi-patterned microphone, the M179 from CAD Audio. Let's dive straight in. So now with CAD's M179 plugged in, we're going to start off with probably what is the most common and popular polar pattern, and that's Cardioid, so named because the polar pattern is somewhat heart-shaped. What does that mean to you? It means that this polar pattern accepts mostly from the front, making it very directional, rejecting mostly from the rear, and just a little bit of side acceptance. And you'll find Cardioid microphones used for a multitude of applications in a studio, but primarily vocals, amplifiers, drums, basically any application where you want to focus the sound from the front of the microphone. A Cardioid is going to be a great choice. In a home studio, don't forget about that rejection from the rear too. Whilst you're directing from the source of the front of the microphone, utilize that rejection from the rear of the microphone to get a better sound from your room. So what does all of that sound like? Well, I've taken the microphone out of the shock mount, and at the moment I'm talking into the front of the mic. So let's flip it round onto the rear so we can really hear what that rear rejection is doing, and I'm sure you can hear that we're now receiving a lot less audio onto this microphone. And if I turn it around onto the side, you can get a good idea of how much rejection you get to from this Cardioid polar pattern. Back onto the front of the microphone, and that's what the Cardioid polar pattern sounds like. Next, we're moving on to the figure of 8 polar pattern, sometimes known as a bidirectional microphone. A figure of 8 microphone polar pattern accepts equally from the front and the rear of the mic, whilst rejecting sounds from the sides. It's called the figure of 8 polar pattern because it accepts sound from the front and the rear, making a perfect number 8. And you'll find that symbol on any figure of 8 or bidirectional microphone. So what does figure of 8 sound like? At the moment I'm talking into the front of the microphone, so let's just spin the mic round, so that I'm talking now into the side of the microphone, where you should hear a lot of rejection. And then finally, I'm at the rear of the microphone, where you should be hearing the same equal amount of sound as you did when I was talking to the front of the mic. And back at the front of the microphone, that's what a figure of 8 polar pattern is all about. Next up, we're taking a look at the super or hyper cardioid position. And as the name suggests, it's kind of like a cardioid on steroids. It's super focused on whatever's in front of it, much more effective at rejecting from the sides, but does accept a little bit more from the rear. Being super directional makes it a great polar pattern choice if you're in a particularly noisy environment, or even if you're in an ambiently noisy environment like a home studio can be. This can be a great setting for you. If you're looking for a particularly dry vocal, then a super cardioid microphone could be a great choice. With that side rejection, means you're going to get less of the room sound in your recording, and of course with it being so focused on what's in front of it, it means you're going to get a very tight vocal recording. And the symbol of a super cardioid once again reflects the shape of the polar pattern. So you've got a big circle here at the front, and then a smaller circle at the back, just showing there's a little bit more coming in from the rear, with nothing on the left and the right side. So the front of the microphone, this is what it sounds like. Let's flip it around to the side, and you can really hear the extent of that side rejection from this polar pattern. Moving it to the rear, and you can hear that whilst it is rejecting a lot of the sound, it's accepting a little bit more than a typical cardioid microphone. And back to the front of the microphone, that's what a super or hyper cardioid microphone is all about. Hello my friend, just interrupting this video for a moment to ask you a question. Are you fed up creating underwhelming mixes that just don't stand out on sites like Spotify? If that sounds familiar, I've got some good news. I've created a course just for you. It's called Pro Mix Method, and it's free. It's going to teach you how to create a solid foundation for your mix, so you can leave frustration at the door and start getting the results that you deserve. The link for the free course Pro Mix Method is just below this video. Moving on, and now I'm using the omni setting of this microphone. Now an omnidirectional microphone will accept everything equally from all around the microphone. This would be a good setting or a good microphone to use if you had a large group of people that you wanted to capture, or indeed could be a good choice if you're recording a vocalist that likes to move a lot around the microphone, and you're finding with a cardioid microphone you're just losing them quite a lot in the pattern. An omni could be a good choice to get you out of that situation. So as you can hear as I move around the mic, everything's equal. If I just swivel the microphone around, and now I'm talking into the rear and bring it back again, you can hear exactly what that omni setting is all about. And finally onto the wider cardioid position, which kind of looks a bit more like a beef tomato, looks like a squashed cardioid because it's got more width, because it picks up more of the width in the polar pattern. Now this could be really useful if, say, you've got 3 or 4 vocalists that you want to record in front of the microphone at the same time, or indeed if you've got a small orchestral arrangement like a little string quartet or something. This could be a great setting. Sitting somewhere in between cardioid and omni, it gives you another option of flexibility when choosing a microphone polar pattern. So that's 5 microphone polar patterns explained. I hope you found this video really helpful. If you did, please do remember to like and subscribe. Little shout out for this awesome sounding microphone as well from CAD Audio, the M179. It's been around for quite a long time now and it's still a very popular choice. You can understand why with the flexibility of these polar patterns built into this microphone, plus it also sounds just great. If you want to find out more about the M179, I'll leave a link below this video and a purchase link too, in case you're thinking about buying one of these. Using the link below this video helps to give a little kickback to Real Home Studio and helps me to keep making more videos like this one. Whilst you're down there, don't forget to grab your free Pro Mix method if you want to start getting better sounding mixes that stand out on sites like Spotify. It's a great foundational mix course to take right now for free. Again, you'll find the link for that below this video. And if you enjoyed checking out this CAD microphone today, you're definitely going to want to check out my review of this next CAD mic coming straight up.